Hello, this is King of Review, and we're going to be using the quadratic formula to solve this quadratic equation. So the quadratic formula says x is equal to negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Did you guys remember it by now? I hope so. Well, our a value for this equation is going to be negative 6, and our b value is 1, and our c value is 1. So now all we have to do is just plug it into our equation. So it's going to say negative 1 plus or minus square root of 1 squared minus 4 times negative 6 times 1 divided by 2a, which is 2 times negative 6. So that's going to equal negative 1 plus or minus 1 plus, because it's negative 4 times negative 6, 24 over 2 times negative 6, which is negative 12. So that is equal to negative 1 plus or minus 1 plus 25, which is just equal to 25, right? So you basically have a square root of 25, so that's just going to be 5 over negative 12. Well, we can add the 5, and then we can subtract the 5. So let's think about it in different cases. So first, when we add the 5, so the equation is going to turn into negative 1 plus 5 over negative 12. So that equals 4 over negative 12. And that equals negative 1/3, right? Because if we simplify that. And then we can just think about the minus part, the negative part. So if we subtract the 5, we get negative 1 minus 5 over negative 12. So that's going to equal negative 6 over negative 12. And if you simplify this, you're going to be left with 1/2. And so the answer are these values. So the answer to this question is A. Now let's think about our other options. Option B says negative 1/3. There are cases where the answer is going to be only one value. But because we did actually have a value inside that root, because this root didn't turn into a 0 here, we are always going to have two answers because we're doing plus and minus. That's why this is going to be wrong. What about option C? Well, it says negative 3, doesn't it? But when we simplify 4 over negative 12, we don't get a negative 3. We get a negative 1/3. If it was negative 12 over 4, yes, it would have been negative 3. So this is wrong. And for option D, the same reason. We don't have a 3, and we don't have a negative 2, because we're not doing negative 12 over negative 6, or even 12 over 4. So these are wrong. So the answer to this question is going to be A.